Hello, everyone. You're welcome to our broadcast today. This is a live stream, and I want to welcome every one of you for joining us today. We are here to discuss something very important. This is family aspects. You guys know how we do it. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be amazing. We have a guest today, and we want to talk about something that we already advertised on our channel today, letting you know that we want to talk about the narcissistic relationship. So, we want to talk about that. And the topic today is the narcissistic relationship in perspective with Rosemary Bassey. Now, she's our guest today, and we are going to be sharing a whole lot from her and with her. So, she's going to be sharing with us, she's going to be giving us some tips about it. This is the area where she actually specialized, and she want to talk about her experience and her research so far regarding this subject. So, guys, if you're watching us for the first time, don't hesitate to hit the like button right now. Hit the like button, hit the like button. Antonia, you're welcome. Antonia is on the line. If you're just there for the first time, please hit the like button. Hit the like button and also subscribe if you haven't been here. If you haven't subscribed to our channel before, I want you to subscribe. Yes, thank you so much for coming. And one of the things I want us to participate in today is on the comment section, because we want to know your own opinion and your experience that you are on with. If you're, can everyone hear me? If you can hear me, please notify on the chat on the comment section, please. If you can hear me, let me know, because it's like I'm the only one hearing myself. Or I'm not sure if you guys can hear me. Let me see. I have another screen here. I'm not sure. Okay, good. Yeah, my volume is coming out. Good. All right. Awesome. All right. So here we are today to discuss this. So wherever you are, if you're watching, please share this video with your friends on WhatsApp, on Facebook, on YouTube. Just share wherever you want to share, social media you want to share with. I'm not sure which of the platform YouTube will allow you to share this video, but whichever platform on the menu there, just hit the share button. A link will be given to you, and then with that link, you'll be able to just share the content, this video, this live stream, with those that are on your contact majorly, because that's what we want to reach. We want to reach those on your contact. We want those on your contacts to join us on this live stream today. Okay. Thank you everyone for coming, and I have our guest already waiting. I'm just about to introduce our guest, but I'm just trying to arrange. So it's like my studio is a bit dark. All right. I want to introduce our guest so we can get to it and start discussing it. Now, the topic today, like we already said, it is a narcissistic relationship perspective. We want to look at it. What is narcissistic, or what is a narcissist? What is narcissism? How do people get? Hello. Who is this? Okondube. You're welcome, Okondube. You're welcome. Thank you for being here today. You're welcome. Please, if you are just coming in for the first time, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button also, because we have a lot to share today on this video. So let's go right to the point. Like I said before, our guest is already here. I'm going to invite her over in few seconds actually. But just to let you know what we have to discuss today, the narcissistic relationship in perspective. And she's our guest, Rosemary Bassey. She's our guest. So we're going to be inviting her in just right about time. Okay, good. I did subscribe already. Thank you very much for being a member of our family, Okodube. Thank you. I hope I pronounced your name properly. I'm trying with all of these beautiful names. Thank you so much. All right, let me bring in our guests. There are many voices coming in behind me here. Let me bring in our guests quickly, and then we'll start up because, um, oh, great. You came from Franklin. Do you know our guests in Franklin channel? Our guest today is actually coming from Franklin's channel. Are you aware? Do you know our guest? Let me bring her on so that we don't have to waste the time. She's already waiting. But I'm just waiting you guys' appetite for her to come. Do you know? Yes. Aha, yes. Everyone should know how. If you are from Franklin's channel, this is your family member too. Okay, here she is. Hello, Rosemary. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome, awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. This is gonna be an amazing moment today. Hey guys, share this video right now. Invite your friends to come and watch this video because we are gonna be having fun. It's gonna be question time. It's gonna be interaction time. Yes, she's saying hello to you. Uh,
Hi. Hi.
yeah,
Okonombe. I don't know how to
yeah,
pronounce your first name. GW ladies, I think.
yeah.
Okay.
GW ladies. Okay, so we are here now. We want to talk about this. Before we talk about this particular topic today, you want to introduce yourself to us, Rosemary. I don't want to do all the talking. You are here now. So tell us about yourself. And yeah,
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Rosemary Bassey. I'm an assistant professor of anatomy and structural sciences. Um, my I've done a bit of work in male reproductive toxicology, some neuropsychopharmacology, and right now I'm into medical education. But yeah, my work in neuropsychopharmacology has exposed me to a lot of um, behavioral neuroscience disorders, like
okay,
neuropsychiatric disorders, and my the focus of most of my research in that field has been early life stress, majorly maternal deprivation, and all the associated neuropsychiatric disorders, and addictive like behaviors that can develop from those. So I've did quite a bit of my publications online, if
awesome,
you care. So
awesome.
great
Please,
to be here.
we need to know where we can get your publication. You have a website, you have a YouTube channel.
I don't have a YouTube channel.
You better start one. I'm gonna inspire you from today. Yeah,
Oh
you
my
better start one.
goodness.
Okay, you have a website, do you?
I don't have a website. You can find me on Google Scholar.
Okay,
Some of my works you can get from there.
okay,
Um, yeah, once you type my names,
okay.
most times you can get some of those publications.
Do you want to have a website?
Yeah, I'll probably think about developing that soon.
Okay, that'll
Yeah.
be great. That'll be good because your blog will want to read about what you're doing on your blog. We want that.
Okay.
That'll be nice. That'll be nice. Awesome, awesome. So we have a doctor in the house, like I already told you guys on our publication, and she's not just saying that, but she's practicing it. She's doing a lot of human behavior or practice. So now, what we're talking about today is the very important, most I think it's a popular trending topic right now. All right, and people are talking about it everywhere. So I thought I have a channel that deals on family and relationships. So I thought, why not talk about it? Because I've studied, I've read about it, and I've seen that it's not a good behavior. It's not a good disorder. I call it personal disorder. So, and we have people that have, yes, fashionable gigs is here. Fashionable gigs, you're welcome. Fashionable gigs is from Franklin's channel. Fashionable gigs I believe you know our guest right now. Can you recognize our guest?
I'm not that famous. I don't believe everybody should know me.
No, everyone
I'm not.
from
I'm not a famous person.
you're gonna be famous from today.
Oh
I'm
my
telling
god, I'm dreading that right now.
you. Okay, it's gonna be fun. Yes. Um, we want to talk about it now. Let's look at why we start. Now, guys, if you have any question, do not hesitate to put it on the comment section. All right. The doctor is here herself. Any question you want to ask concerning the habits or, I mean, the narcissistic relationship or narcissistic behavior, don't hesitate to put it on the comment section. Okay. We have a doctor in the house and she is going to be answering those questions. And if you have a relationship, because she's going to talk about the signs, how to know, how to recognize some of these things. And then if you find out that your spouse or your any of your relative, any of your family members has it, then this is a moment to ask questions. Okay. Now this is the topic we're going to be looking at, and I want to start asking her questions without further ado. We're already 11 minutes into um, the program, so I'm just trying to wait for more people to come in and then we'll be able to go straight into it. But right now, I'm going to go straight into the questions. I believe our doctor is ready. So, the first question we want to look at today is who or what is narcissist?
Well, a narcissist, what it is really is a personality disorder. It's one
Okay.
of the several types that exist, and it's kind of classified under a mental condition in which people generally have like this inflated sense of importance. They feel they're superior to everybody else. Um, Kind of they need excess attention, they need people to admire them, but they don't care about other people. So they lack empathy. They don't care about your feelings or whatever. They just need to feel superior to you, right? And sometimes under those, self aggrandization
Mm.
is sometimes a very fragile self-esteem. They're actually quite vulnerable and do not like to be criticized at all. So
Wow.
that's like in a general sense, yes, is a personality disorder. It's
Yeah.
classified as a mental condition.
Okay. So
That's it.
we have a lot of people who
Hmm.
are lacking empathy,
Yeah.
especially in the Africa descent.
Hmm.
You agree with me?
Yeah, I mean, these things have been there. It's just that a lot of people don't know um, about the term narcissist. They don't know it's a thing, and so it's just that some people don't recognize when there's a problem, right? And so it's like, oh, that's how that person is, but it is a problem, and it's great if people can recognize those traits, right? And so they are able to identify them and look at the causative, you know, um, the reasons why those people sometimes are narcissists, right? And because it
Mm,
can go from one generation to another,
mm,
right? It's sometimes people are narcissists because their parents were narcissists
mm,
or they went through early life trauma, like some adverse childhood experiences,
yeah.
mostly neglect, right?
Mm, mm.
Does contribute to that. Social media contributes to narcissism. You
Wow.
feel like the need to take 1,000 pictures a day to put them online. Oh, I have 1,000 followers, or I have 1 million followers. People
Mm,
look at me, admire me, comment, share, like, tell me how beautiful I am or
mm.
how talented I am, and they feed off all that. They just need to be seen, need to be admired. So they
Wow.
feel like, oh, I'm well known, I'm a celebrity,
Mm.
and this and that. So, I'm superior to all these other people around me. You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Wow. So we mean this self-absorbed entitled
Oh yeah.
personality.
Mhm.
These some of them are even authoritarian. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yes. They get to be kind of even aggressive. It's like they feel entitled to 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 that attention, you know. And once you can give them that, it they almost like gaslight you, you know, manipulate every situation to get the attention back to them, you know, a lot of different things.
Wow. Okay,
Hmm.
we'll go into more of that in
Hmm.
identifying them in a minute. All right.
Okay.
Hello, guys. You're watching now. Wherever you're watching, this is Rosemary Bassey, a PhD, and a doctor in the house. And again, we are talking about narcissists, yeah, and the pattern, the behavior, the how to identify it, and the problem that they come with. And if you are in a relationship in that is in that have this type of personal disorder, we want to help you understand them and how to. We want to also help you how to help you to know how to manage it, really, how to deal with it. So if you have your questions, leave it on the comment section below. I will be able to pick them up and then ask the doctor here with us. And again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. All right, let's keep going. Now I'm going to move to the next question, doctor. Now, in my own opinion, before we call up on the next question, in my own opinion, I think um, we have over 80% of people suffering from this disorder. Do you agree with me?
Well, I'm not sure of the statistics about
Okay.
that, so
Because
I can't really say. You know,
okay,
there have to be enough data to support that. You
okay.
know, yeah.
So now at the moment, what are the statistics you can get so far, if not up to what I just assumed?
Um. Yeah, I'm not actually researched to find out the statistic. It will be difficult to tell, really, because if there is a certain statistics, it will be based on those that are actually seeking therapy.
Hmm.
But what about the people that don't go for therapy, that are
Yeah,
undiagnosed, right? So
yeah.
you can't, I don't think you can actually get accurate statistics on
Wow.
that. You know, one has to be able to go for therapy
Okay.
or else you can't really say. It would be an assumption, and that would not be statistically correct.
Good. Now,
Yeah.
the reason I brought that in is because we already have a lot of assumption going on.
Mhm.
People are already accusing their spouse being a narcissist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without actually going through any therapies or confirming it from any medical references. You know what I mean? So that is already going on. Anyway, let's go to the next question before we come back to that because I know somebody's going to ask a question regarding to what I just said. Now, the next question is what makes someone a narcissist?
There are many. There could be many factors. Mostly, it's environmental, right? Like I said earlier, there's a high. Those are narcissists. There's a high tendency they had narcissistic parents. You know, there are two groups of those. You know, on one side, it could be parents that they feel like this kind of high level of superiority. They want their children to be the best this, the best that, the smartest, or you know. Another thing in this generation where there is no winner in any competition, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say, for instance, in the US now,
Mm-hmm.
you go to schools and they just give you a participation trophy, right? So it's like whether you do great or not, you expect to win something, you know. So it's like you get this like a desperate attitude. Your parents will be telling you, "Oh, you're the best, you're the smartest," no matter if whatever either you're failing or you oh don't worry about that, you're still the best student, you're still this. Not saying that parents should look down on their children or if
Mm-hmm.
they're not doing great,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes you kind of have to, you know, be realistic with them and get them the help they need because they grow up feeling like they're entitled to a certain level of appreciation even though they're not deserving of it. You know, they're doing absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So in those people, it's like um, the parents were kind of, in that way, they neglected the children's actual needs, and were kind of living in delusion,
Mm,
right? And then you
mm,
have on the other spectrum where the parents are actually like neglect the children,
mm,
they abandon them. In some of those situations, it could come from children that were born out of wedlock and shipped off to a grandparent or something. They
yeah.
never got that, love, from their parents, or they grew up in a household, in a toxic household, where
Mm,
the parents kept, throwing side remarks at them, hurtful words. So they kind of developed a low self-esteem, growing up. And in that way, in trying to deal with that, they kind of cover it up on the exterior with this, oh, I'm okay, I'm doing good, I'm superior, just to, in a way, to deal with their insecurities at that point. So
wow.
yeah,
Wow.
narcissists breed narcissists, toxic households,
Mm,
neglect, parental neglect, breeds that, you know,
mm,
following the trend, they need to follow the trend in social media, could
wow.
breed narcissistic behaviors.
Hello, Sarime. You're welcome. Thank you, Sarime. You're welcome for joining us, Sarime. Thank you for being part of. If you have any question, just leave your comments, your question on the comment section below. Um, Again, I want to thank you, Doctor, for explaining this, because now it's beginning to come to light how narcissists actually come into operation in family, because it's very rampant in families. So let's look at, again, how do we, let me just bring it close. Does a narcissist know they are?
Um, that is a yes and a no. Some do,
Yeah.
some don't. Some is just basically a lack of self-awareness, right?
Mm,
About that there's a condition like this that exists, or and the traits associated with them.
yeah.
Some do, but in a regular narcissist fashion, they don't care. They'll rather you admire them than like them. They don't need you to like them. Just tell them how awesome they are. Tell them how brilliant they are. Like, even if you try to tell them the truth, they'll just call you a hater, right? And you're just being jealous, right? So in that
Wow.
way, they some do, some don't.
So, okay, if you look at the rates of people that like you said, data, but I'm concerned about, um, is it easy to, okay, maybe that will be the next question, but that would be, how do one identify these people? Since there are some who will not know that they are. All
Yeah.
right, why some already know that this is who they are? They are narcissists, so they just know it, but they are proud of it. I know
Mhm.
people who are proud of being a narcissist, But again, we have people who are actually going through living with a narcissist. They don't even know that they are living with a narcissist. So
Mhm.
the question is, how can you identify these narcissists in a relationship?
Yeah, there are several common traits associated with narcissism, and if you have a partner like that, or if you're one,
Uh-huh.
told they might be narcissists watching this, but there are several common traits that you might want to identify. If the person is always like, you know. Talk when they're talking about people, it's almost as if the people they're talking about, they are on a lower scale when it comes to, compared to them, they're like always superior. Even in making friends, they expect people to come visit them. They don't want to visit those people. They're like, oh, nobody came to visit me, nobody came to do this, nobody came to do that. Like, people always need to come to you because you're the superior person, and you don't think, oh, maybe I should go visit this person. It never occurs to them. Or they lack empathy.
Mm.
right? You're talking about something, maybe you're in a relationship with someone like that, and you're like, oh, I had a bad day at work or something, or, somebody in my family got sick. They'll be like, well, that's if they allow you to go through one sentence. The next thing they'll be like, oh, switch it back to themselves, right? So they don't really care how you feel, what you're going through. It doesn't bother them, right? They manipulate and try to control every situation, so in that way, sometimes it could lead to gaslighting. In fact, that is what it is, when you manipulate a situation to in a way, they almost make you question your own sanity, question your own memory, question. That's basically gaslighting. Take, for instance,
Mm.
you're telling someone, oh, I don't like the way you're behaving. Um, let's say you're in a relationship and you're like, oh, I'm not getting any affection from you. And they're like, oh my God, how can you even say that? How can you say that? You're selfish. You don't even care how I feel, about me. Didn't you know I had a headache today? And, you're talking about that. How can I think of that? I have this headache that you're not talking about, right? Look, I can't imagine you're talking this way, you're too selfish, do you even listen to yourself, blah blah blah. And then you're like, oh, you now start telling yourself, oh my God, I should have asked him again about his headache. Oh my, is it that I'm actually so, you almost kind of question
Questioning yourself.
or in a way for them to deny an actual event. Maybe you told them, oh, could you help me get something? And they come back and like, oh, you didn't get it. Why didn't you get it? Oh my goodness. How can you, are you sure you're okay? It's like gaslighting, gaslighting, gaslighting all the way. And they need you to always admire them. They have this strong sense for admiration. They focus all the time on getting their needs met.
Mm.
They don't care about your own needs. In a
Mm.
relationship, you see that even in sex, right?
Mm. Mhm.
They don't care about foreplay or making you happy or giving you pleasure. They just want to come get their this and they're out, you know. And
Wow.
then, don't even dare complain about that. That would mean they have to talk about you, and nobody cares.
Wow.
So in some cases, they're really aggressive because they need to win every argument. It's like you trying to, even some things that weren't necessarily arguments, they can get really defensive and aggressive, you know. So they don't like criticism at all.
Whew.
But those are the general terms. But breaking it down, they're like different types of narcissists,
Mhm.
because some of those things you might see some of those patterns in some. It doesn't always, not all of them would occur in the same person,
Mm.
or they might occur in different degrees.
Mm.
So there are two major ones, though there are some others that are most, like one was just talked about recently. We might talk about those briefly, but let me just introduce the two major ones. The grandiose narcissism
Okay.
and the vulnerable narcissism,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
The grandiose narcissist is the
Mm.
one that, you see them among like elites, like celebrities,
Mm.
people that, they're like, I'm superior, I dominate everywhere. There's so much more, they're much more confident, very insensitive, and those are the ones that probably were treated as if they were really superior when they were growing up, right?
Mm.
And they they are so insensitive that they're the ones that would, you know go having affairs, can dump their partner at the drop of a hat, but they don't care.
Wow.
So, especially if they're not no longer getting the admiration and the special treatment that you
Mm.
were giving to them early in the relationship.
Mm.
If they're not getting that from you, they'll go on to where, they can get that, right? And so, they don't last. On the other hand, the vulnerable narcissist, emotionally sensitive, right? Not that they're sensitive about your needs, but they're like, they have, even when they try to show the superiority, is more
Mm,
fragile, right? So in this case, they're the ones that use that grandiosity kind of as a veil to cover their own deep feelings of inadequacy or incompetence. They're the ones that sometimes they behave as if they're superior. Sometimes, they swing back and forth and behaving as if they're inferior or superior,
mm,
and they like playing the victim. Right? Oh, you don't know what I've been through. You know how, I couldn't sleep last night. Don't I don't have friends. Or don't it's like, okay, always playing the victim to manipulate that situation.
mm,
So in that one is very dangerous because you don't see it coming.
mm,
Right? They're the ones like, oh, and you feel sorry for them, and they're basically sapping you emotionally, psychologically, because you're trying so hard to meet their needs. The
uh,
emotional needs are never enough, right? So and mostly those develop from early childhood experiences of neglect,
mm,
or dealing with toxic in a toxic home where they
mm,
weren't shown that much love. So they can be very possessive, they can be very jealous,
mm,
uh, they can be very paranoid because, oh, since they have this feeling of inadequacy, they always feel their partner is going to leave them or is having an affair with someone, right? Then there are other ones that are not too common are the communal narcissists, because
mm,
those ones, they that one was actually um, kind of identified recently. These
yeah.
are the ones that are kind of people praise to be philanthropists,
Mm,
but they're the communal narcissists in
mm,
that they can be very nice. They have this vain selflessness, but it's not like you being philanthropic, doing charity work, but you're always broadcasting it everywhere. You need people to see how good you are, how giving you are, how warm you are. But there's a selfish undertone to it,
mm,
right? And it's
yeah.
like it's very hypocritical because
Mm,
you're not doing this for the right reasons, but
mhm,
you want people to see. Oh my God, they're like in a way they're like the grandiose narcissists, but
yeah.
they're not as aggressive as those. Theirs is exhibited by being so helpful, being very agreeable, being very giving, but it needs to be in the limelight. You need to see them, right? They need to be admired for that, right?
Mm,
The most dangerous one is the malignant one.
mm,
That is like on the extreme
mm,
of the spectrum. Is
mm,
like they're very cruel, they're very aggressive. They and so at some point they can get sadistic, right?
mm.
They find pleasure in creating chaos, right? And
Wow.
in taking people down. They might not be any of those. They might not be grandiose. They might like it might just they're almost downright psychopathic, right? And that it can be kind of closely related to antisocial
Mm,
personality disorder, but that's like on the extreme of the spectrum. You might not see that a lot in actual relationship,
mm,
but the first two I talked about, the grandiose and the vulnerable, are the
mm.
ones that you might really commonly see
Oh,
in relationships. So
wow.
those are the ones that one might want to take note of. Right?
Awesome. Awesome. Now, guys, you're listening to this. She just analyzed the different types of narcissism so you can see in your relationship. And again, the pattern to follow, how they behave. Now, if you have any question maybe connected to what she said, you'll be able to ask a question now, and probably we might be able to tell you if that person is a narcissist or not. But here, I can see on the comment section, Josie, you're welcome. Josie Osarimida, you're welcome to join us today. Yes, we're talking about the pattern of a narcissist. And again, we have um, Okodunwe says that, oh, she says, oh, it's actually knew someone like that. I actually knew someone like that, but I never knew he was a narcissist. As you see, like we said, until there are a lot of people who actually are behaving like that. We don't even know that they are. Now, fashionable geek says that they seek attention everywhere and every day. So they seek attention everywhere. So it's obvious that some of you already know about this pattern. Now, the next question I want to ask is this: the doctor would like to tell us: is it possible for um, a narcissist to fall in love with all of these bad elements that they carry?
Ah, okay. What we might call love, might not be what the narcissist will be looking for. He might feel he loves the person as long as it's serving his own selfish purpose, you know.
Okay.
So as long as it suits him, his ego, his need for admiration, his whatever makes him happy, right? He might show those feelings that seem like love at the beginning of a relationship when they don't need to be very vulnerable. They have to be the charmer, they have to do this and that, you know with a partner that they feel can give them all the glory they deserve, and who look up to them.
Yeah.
Very important. The partner must look up to them. They don't need
Wow.
their equal, because you're not going to admire them and give them the attention and the worship they desire. But when the relationship gets more serious and they have to, be more vulnerable and have intimate conversations, they
Mm.
close up, because it's they don't want any to uncover any part of them that doesn't that makes them look imperfect. They have to look perfect all the time.
Mm.
They don't want to show any flaw, and they don't need you to tell them they are wrong about something, so um yeah, they will actually feel like they're the victim of their partner's mistreatment if you're criticizing them, and generally push the person away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they have to push the person away to maintain that facade that they're perfect, they're superior, or they feel like others don't understand what they're going through, their pain, or they feel like they're being judged, so they need to protect themselves from being judged.
Mm.
And when their partner, you know, also they're not even able to show their partner the love the partner deserves, because they don't want that intimate connection. They can't provide you the empathy. They don't engage in any intimate conversation. So you trying to be in a relationship in the first place, um you'll be under a lot of emotional abuse,
Wow.
right? Because they're emotionally unavailable to others. So being in a relationship with them is more damaging to the other person than it's better you're not in anything.
Wow.
Okay, let's look at certain situations. Let's say it's always all about them, you know
Mm-hmm.
um, conversations get turned around so that you feel sorry for them, or you think you're the one that was wrong, or they withdraw from constructive criticism, or even lash out. They
Mm.
gaslight you all the time, right? So that you, the partner, would back down from questioning them, or having a mind of your own, right? You'll be walking on eggshells. you know
Wow.
you're feeling scared to speak your mind so that not to enrage them, because
mm,
they're always going to get enraged at the slightest criticism and start gaslighting you. You
mm.
know, so I mean, it's impossible for them to feel genuine love for someone. That as long if it's not serving their needs, then it's not going to work. Okay.
Like I think fashionable geeks just said they love. That means they fall in love with vulnerable people.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
the
Yes.
only time they want to love anybody is when the person is vulnerable to them.
Yeah.
So they
Exactly.
know they can squeeze out this
And
person
control the
and
situation.
control them.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. This is tough. This is really tough. And in
Um,
addition to this, is it is there actually a cure for this?
I mean, they're. I wouldn't. Well, we can't rule out anything, but the person needs to go to a therapist that specializes in narcissism. You know, um, if they're already in a partnership, they're already in a relationship, they can go together. But it's I would advise the narcissist goes for individual therapy. You know, to sift through his feelings or whatever he's going through, to be able so as not to be, destructive to his
Mm,
partner, right? And the partner also would need to go through therapy, because um, anybody that wants to stay stuck in a relationship with a narcissist has a problem and needs therapy. Because
oh,
yes, the person would have had a problem with codependency, or they feel they have a low self-esteem and feed off, they like feeding off people that are in the limelight, almost to get a little bit of positive energy to themselves, or I don't know, whatever feeling that is.
mm,
Yeah, so some therapy might help, but the main work is on the narcissists themselves, to kind of try to look at what is even causing that. I think there's a whole lot of stuff. I'm not a psychologist or a psychotherapist, so yeah, I might not be able to deal
mm.
really well in that.
So okay, if there is no cure at the moment, if there is no accurate cure, probably they have to be managed. They
They
have to
have to
be,
be managed.
yeah,
It's not a disease. It's a personality disorder. So you have to work through the personality. I mean, some of these things that happen, especially those that grew up in that had some early childhood experiences that were adverse, would have, changed some of their brain chemistry, because their brain is still developing. Your brain is still developing as a child. But they have to accept, yes, Gladys, they have to accept that they're narcissists. They have to
yeah,
accept that they need help,
yeah,
because that is the thing. That's why I was like, the narcissist has to go for individual therapy. But
mm,
for him to be willing to do that, he must accept there's something wrong, which a lot don't. They don't, why are you telling me that? If you
wow.
succeed in going through the first sentence, yeah, you're lucky. They'll dismiss it at the drop of a hat. So, nah.
Oh my word! What? Ah, my goodness! What? What? You see, there are so many families suffering like this,
Yeah.
and it's so hurting. I'm thinking already. I can literally see about four families that is around me that I can really tell that this is going on.
Mhm. Yeah,
Terrible.
and it's just it's hard sometimes, especially when you're dealing with cultural situations where they're like some things are acceptable. They're almost like, oh, and really it could be either the man or a woman that's a narcissist. So it's either way it's hard to deal with. Some people are left to deal with that. It's like, they will change, pray, the deliverance, one thing. It's like, okay, I'm not even gonna get into that.
Please get into it. We need to
But
know because
really, we need to get
sometimes, Rosemary,
psychological help.
doctor, you know what? Sometimes there are these elementary experiences in family is
Yeah,
what we need to learn to
yeah,
understand that there is a narcissist in the house.
yeah.
You get it?
And
Because yeah.
yeah, and one thing, especially the issue of emotional neglect or parental neglect or living in toxic households where, some, and that gets me to the point of when people decide to stay in toxic relationships and they say it's because of the children. You're actually harming the children, by doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Because what are you doing? They grow up with a twisted sense of reasoning. They grow up, having all these things going on around them, with developing brains. So there's a tendency something would go wrong,
Mm.
right? Like you see people even now that will be like, okay, they can be in a relationship where their boyfriend doesn't hit them, so because
Wow.
that would mean the person doesn't love them.
Wow.
And that is because they grew up in that kind of environment, seeing the father or the mother hitting on the other spouse, and it was like that is how love should be displayed, you know. And all I would say is, if you're in a toxic relationship, get out, get your children out of there, hug them regularly, self-affirm them, try not to say hurtful words all the time, because children need to build a good self-esteem. If you're used to cursing at your children, oh, you have big eyes, why are your lips so fat, look at that ugly child, go and sit down, just because you're angry, I will tell you to stop it.
Oh, oh, my goodness. Indeed. Indeed.
Because some grow up without having to develop some of those things, but then no person is the same. You have
Mm,
more sensitive people that every word you say they internalize them, right?
mm,
And they grow up with low self-esteem, but as they're going out into the world, they need to put up a facade just so that people don't see how, you know vulnerable they are, how much of a low esteem they have, so they cover up. In that
mm,
way, they cover up sometimes in the extreme that, oh, I have to buy this designer wares, I have to look this good, I have to, and they kind of take good care of themselves in the exterior, so that
mm.
everybody else will be like, oh, you're fine, or you look good, or that kind of makes them feel better about themselves.
Wow.
So, but we need to nip it from the grassroots, or if that's the right
Awesome.
term,
Yeah.
nip it in the bud.
Whew. So imagine now, you see a family who is going through this, and there's a guy,
Mhm,
yeah, or the lady is the one going through this, and she's a
mhm,
narcissist, and then you confront them and say, you know what, this behavior is a disorder. This
mhm.
behavior that you're putting up is not right. You need help. How do you think that someone will respond to that?
I don't. I mean, that might not. If you're actually trying to get a narcissist to do something, it's not by criticizing them, because they don't take that lightly. So
Oh, oh.
don't criticize.
I think you're right. That will be the next question that I wanted to ask. So, how can someone best deal with a narcissist in a family, in a relationship? So,
My honest opinion would be run. Like it's possible. Well, because they're unlikely to change unless they think changing will benefit their what they desire, if they're desiring status or power, if you know but at the end of the day, it's still self-serving. It doesn't serve you.
mm,
It's certainly possible to have a relationship with narcissists, but it's going to be emotionally and psychologically exhausting. You will
wow.
be like, the they drain the life, the soul, the spirit out of their partner. Is like you're just there as a an emotional punching bag, I would say. you know,
Wow.
so if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, I would first of all face the person that is in a relationship with a narcissist. Let's forget the narcissist first of all.
Yeah.
Like, why are you in a relationship with a narcissist? Did you have
They
some
didn't know. They didn't know he's or she's a
wait,
narcissist. That's what.
wait, some
Okay.
for you to some like some have a more deep-seated issue than that. You
Okay.
know, did you have a self-centered parent? Are you comfortable with your partner being in control and taking the spotlight, and you just attach to them? It's like you're just attaching to someone to feel good about yourself because the person seemed to be, in control, and you can't do anything for yourself, so you just attach to someone.
Hmm.
Do you have a negative image about yourself? And sometimes when your partner is like gaslighting you and telling you hurtful words, you kind of internalize it and like, yeah, that is true, because you already had a negative self image. Because many people who fall in love with, I would say, fall in love in quote, with narcissists have like a problem of codependency. They will put up with a certain amount of abuse because they don't feel confident in themselves enough to like live or be on their own or even set boundaries in any relationship. So okay, so you have to challenge yourself. You have to probably see that your partner is maybe vulnerable, has some issues with themselves. I don't know, but I would say just go, because at the end of the day, you for the sake of your sanity and your mental health, you really need to leave. They're never gonna change. They're never
You
going
think?
to change. They're never going to change. You might have to live with it. You have to figure out a way to deal with it. It might be a way to manage it such that it's not destructive. But to say they're just going to change and be a new person, I don't know.
Wow. You mean they are not going to change? So
Yeah,
even the therapist that they're visiting is not going to
it will
help.
help them to be aware, more self-aware, and try not to be destructive. Try. But if you're talking about what their innate needs are, they need to feed off you. So you're the losing party, either way you see it. There are some people that can cope with that. That's why I said some people that are like, they're just they're just there. They might just, whatever is thrown at them, they'll just stay because they don't feel confident enough to get out and be on their own, or they feel they need to, oh, I have this person. Just because, your partner is like, I'm superior, I'm this, I'm that, and makes you feel like some, I don't know, some attachment to him. And you accept it and you just stick around. Some people do that already anyway, especially in a society that will be like, oh, they'll separate. How can you try to make it work? Endure, endure, endure. So people are already enduring. So if you're good on enduring, okay, good luck.
Woo! Indeed. Oh my God. Then if they can't endure it, they should run because it's not going to change. She's
Yeah,
not
I
going to
mean,
change.
if you know how exhausting you can be emotionally and psychologically having to deal with these people, it's like okay, I, there was an analogy I was looking at. It's like if you're maybe the second Jesus and you feel you need to give your life to suffer somebody else, stay by all means, because you no longer exist at that point. You're
Wow.
living for the other person. You don't, if you're good or not having any okay, maybe you don't have any needs that need to be met. Maybe you don't need someone to love you. You just need to have a place to stay, a roof over your head, and to, um, you know, shoot out kids every now and then. Then, maybe that's fine. They're different personalities. So I can't judge. I'm not judging.
Oh my
Just do what makes me
God.
happy.
No, it's laughable, but it's serious. We're laughing now, but it's a serious
Because
matter.
you can't save the world, really. It's
I'm just
like,
like, oh my God. Okay, okay. I feel for the family. I feel for the family, the ladies, the men that are having this kind of disorder as a partner, this kind of disorder personality as
mhm,
a partner. You know,
mhm,
is a very very touching situation, because for the fact that they have been, like I normally use the word cure, because
mhm,
it's not a disease, but it's more like a disease to me, because it's just like a disease of a certain kind of disease without cure. Uh,
mhm.
and then we're looking at it this way, that okay, they want to get involved with someone because they want to exhibit their narcissism. They want to do something with their disorder. So they will always get involved with people.
Oh, of course, there are always people to get involved with them.
Oh my
So
God.
like in the grandiose kind of narcissism, it's like if you were feeding their ego at the beginning of the relationship, and they always feel good about themselves. They need you to tell them how good they look, how popular they are, how rich they are, how successful they are, and at some point, they're not getting all that from you. Maybe you're tired. Maybe you just realize that your needs are not being met, or they're past the charming phase where they had to draft you in. You were like, oh, I'm in love, this is the perfect partner, he's exhibiting all those things to get you in, and then you're in and they're like, this is me, you're lucky to have me, so keep telling me that all the time.
Wow. That just popped into my mind, something I've experienced. There's a certain kind of lady that she always seek a pity party every time. She
Hmm.
wants to be pitied. She
Hmm.
cry a lot. She wants
Yeah.
every little situation. She want everyone. She just need attention. And
Yeah.
so she cries, and then she know, why me and why not me? What's going on? And then a lot of the attribute I found from her is low self-esteem.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that means many people actually that are suffering from low self-esteem
Hmm.
are narcissists.
Yeah. They some of them cover it up very nicely. The vulnerable type of narcissism, they play the victim all the time. Every time it's like, oh, what I'm going through, oh, there's a problem, oh, this one, that. And you always have to, they need you to keep, tell, oh, sorry, what is it? How can I help? That. But when it's almost like it has to be about them in any sense of the word, either in the grandiose, your popular, or in the victim playing. It has to be about them. So if you bring up anything like, oh, what you're also going through, oh my God, what, really? Do you even know what me I'm going? It's almost like a competition of whose life is worse.
Oh my, oh my God.
Oh,
Oh
sorry,
my God.
man. Yeah, it can be managed if the person sees a psychotherapist that is that specializes in narcissism.
Yeah.
The person has to specialize in that. Not everybody can manage it. Yeah, it can be managed.
Wow.
But then that's if you meet the person that actually wants to go to a psychotherapist. Most will dismiss you. Like it's like them having to admit they have a problem, which is not in their nature to.
And they
Or,
will
or,
not.
or most of all, they
Okay.
will tell you, oh, you're telling me to go and see a therapist when you should be praying for me. Eh? Back to the PT party. You should be
Uh,
praying for me. Don't you see what I'm going through? Eh? Okay.
Okay, okay. They see it as an if, they see it as an what do you call it? An affliction. What do you call it? It's like they see it like a satanic attack. Is it?
Oh, some people might go that far. Of course, you know how a society is. If you, but they want to. That's if they have to admit they have a problem, but they don't. And you like telling them to go to a therapist. They'll instead give you work to do. Go and pray.
Oh,
Then they'll go back to go and pray. Instead of you to pray for me, you're telling me to go and see a therapist. Can't you see all the things I'm going through? Back to the same thing. So
wow, wow. Now, in addition to this, guys, you're watching now. I want you to hit the like button if you haven't done so. Hit subscribe to this channel. This is awesome. And I want you to be, because more of like this video, we're going to be coming up with, we're going to be having several guests like this who who are professionals and understand what they're talking about, to talk about some of these things that we experience in family. And again, in addition to this, I believe every disorder begin or can be resolved with an order. I believe that every disorder can be resolved or replaced with another. The reason there is disorder is because the person fails to put a proper uh, order in his life or her life that need to do with managing or behaving or accepting human being, the fellow human being, relating with fellow human being. Now there is uh, a relationship pattern that we all need to accept. There is a way to relate with people. Okay, there's a way to relate with people, and we all need to know how to relate with each other in an orderly manner. There is a way to relate with people, and many people don't think like that, and that's where the problem is. It's a misplace of importance. I think that's what it is. Yes, the word is affliction, rather. Is affliction.
yeah.
That's what I wanted to mention. Affliction. They think they have been afflicted by their parental upbringing or probably whatever it is, like we talked about just now, the background where maybe their father, their mother was a narcissist, so they just got that behavior pattern and then begin to act in such a disorder manner. Like we said, is a disorder personality. So again, looking at your personality. Now, I believe there was one time before I got married, um, I had easy flare of anger, so I can easily burst out, like I can just light up like this or anything. All right, but as I began to study about personality and living and how to relate with people and learn some of these behaviors, I began to put them aside. I found myself not living in that way and then dropping them off. And with the help of proper personal management, let me put it that way, I was able to come out of that behavior. And with the help of understanding that this is the kind of person that God wants me to be like, not like this. This is the way God wants me to relate with people, not like this. Then I was able to like say, oh, this is my mirror. This is the kind of person I should be. Why can't I just be like this? So with that, I was able to evaluate myself. Now, Sareme is writing here. Let me bring it up. Sareme said, is it also a hereditary or is it just a mental condition? So if it is a answer, maybe you want to.
Yeah, it's a mental condition. It's not hereditary. It's not like anything that has to do with the genes or anything. It's a mental condition. And if a partner has this trait, yeah, I'll suggest a psychiatric evaluation and subsequent management. And yeah, and both parties need to go through the evaluation. Because really, if you've been with that partner for a while, you also need to go through, some healing too, because you've been this life, your emotions have been damaged, your self-esteem will likely to be damaged, because one big thing about narcissism is how they have to put you down. They'll constantly put you down to make themselves feel better about themselves. So you also, both parties need to go through some form of therapy, you know especially the partner having to recover from narcissistic abuse. And the narcissist himself, needs to learn, they need to learn, how to self, maybe foster some self-awareness, maybe, some self-compassion, or, they need to learn to challenge their self-feeding habits, even some, of their pseudo-independent stance. They need to develop their capacity for empathy and try to respect others. So I mean, I would say both parties need to go through the therapy. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, amazing,
But there's
amazing,
something
amazing.
that is called narcissistic abuse.
Uh-huh.
If you've been with a narcissist, it's an emotional abuse, but a very special type.
How special? How special can that get? Oh my God. And now here's my concern. I believe there's a possible result one can get. Whoever is suffering from this, I
Mhm.
always know there's a way out of all of those challenges.
Yeah, but it takes a lot of work. It's sort of a lot of self reflection, a lot of, that is a thing that you have to work on consistently with the right, guidance. It's definitely easy to manage, and once you manage, you kind of have to always, like, in fact, there's this thing, what do they call it? They have to take mindfulness classes. Mindfulness is not just for narcissists, it's good for everybody to practice mindfulness, but it's especially helpful that way. For when they're hurting, they have to know they're hurting other people, they have to show empathy, they have to be more aware of their actions, and be more conscious of what they're doing, like conscious of every act they take, how selfish their actions are. Like, they need to be more
Aware.
thoughtful about other
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
So it takes a lot of work, but it's doable. You have to live the rest of your life being introspective and reflective and mindful. You know, so it's that is doable, but it's a
Awesome.
lot of work, internal, and all that.
And it can only be possible for someone who is willing to change.
Yeah, of course. With everything, it starts with that.
The willingness, knowing that, you know what, I didn't know I'm like this. I didn't know this is what it's like in my life. I behave like this, but I didn't know that this behavior is a narcissism behavior, or is a disorder. Now I'm willing to change. I need help. That
Mhm.
kind of person who you will want to stay with and
Yeah.
ensure that, okay, you help the person to change. But if the person is fighting back, and then after making him or her know that, look, this is a disorder that you're suffering from, and now the person turn against you, like you said, you better run. So in such a way, run for your dear life and the dear life of your children, until he can be able to or he or she can be able to come to their senses and say, oh, you know what, I think I need help. And in most cases, to some of them, they feel like they can't change. They don't need it. This is who they are. And that's what we're looking at today. Now, somebody said you should throw more light on what? I think that has to be with the abusive, the narcissism abusive, isn't it? You mentioned something like the narcissist abusive one, the abusive narcissism. Is it what you mentioned? Something like that a while ago. You said,
Mhm.
is it another?
Oh, the narcissistic abuse.
I think so. Yes, something like that.
I mean, based on all the traits that you
Yeah.
have to deal with in a relationship with a narcissist, just think of being emotionally neglected in a relationship. Like, you are just there. You don't really exist. You don't have, your emotional needs are not catered for. You constantly are talked down on, really called names sometimes. In fact, the things that you're not doing is kind of like flipped back on you, up to the point that you start to question yourself. It's like, oh, maybe I'm the one that is doing wrong, but no. but no, this is not what it was. This is, he did that. And you're like, even some things that you mention are like, oh, I told you about something the other day. It's a lie, it's a lie, it's a lie. You did not say it. How can you say that? And then you kind of begin to question, oh, did I really say it? It's like you're driving yourself crazy.
They makes you think you're mad. Something's
Yeah,
wrong
you
with you.
yourself you start questioning yourself. Maybe it's right though. Maybe I didn't mention it. You're driving yourself crazy. That's emotional abuse. Imagine you walking into a relationship with a healthy self-esteem, and somebody constantly talks down on you because maybe you criticize something that they did, and they're like, oh, you are like crazy. Are you sure you're okay? You're mad. I do even listen to yourself when you talk. I'm beginning to question your sense of reasoning. You talking like that, and oh gosh.
Wow. Wow. Somebody's asking another question here. I think we are now into the phase of question and answer. So those of you who have questions, start bringing it up. Can a narcissistic be compared to bipolar, or what's that?
Oh, not bipolar, schizophrenia are kind of genetically aligned. Narcissism is not. But in bipolar, you have the manic state, even in schizophrenia. But no, no, it's not. It's yeah, those are neuropsychiatric disorders that need to be dealt by a psychiatrist. I
Okay.
mean,
But is it there's a
schizophrenia, and
thing.
they have genetic undertones. It's like
Oh,
it can be actually transferred.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, like like many other neuropsychiatric behaviors, there's an interplay of genetics and environment. So it might be in their genetics and lay dormant, and something in their environment triggers that to
Okay.
manifest. So, but there's definitely a genetic undertone to that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I think Sarime, you got that, yeah? Thank you for the question. Any other question coming in? Uh, any other question coming in, because we have been dealing with something that have been being the trending of a lot of discussions in many forums and in many platforms, and now we have family being accused, husband being accused being a narcissist, wife being accused being a narcissist, and then without any therapical validation, without any medical validation.
Well,
So
once you know the traits, really, one should be able to identify them.
okay.
Knowing the different. That's why it's good to educate yourself. You
Mm,
don't, in fact, with some of these personality disorders, once you know those traits and you've researched them and you've learned about them, you can actually rightfully, you know, identify a narcissist before it even gets to a psychotherapist.
good,
So
good.
as long as they've analyzed all those traits and
Mm,
not just throwing the word around, they can
mhm,
actually do that.
good.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Now we have almost come to the end of this stream today, and I don't want to keep our guests just waiting. And I believe she have a lot of things to do. It's still pretty in the day time in the United States, so she have a lot of things to catch up with. But we want to say thank you so much for sharing uh, a
Thank
lot
you
of
for having me.
this information with us today. Of course, we're going to have you again, I believe. I can't wait to have you again. And we want to share more. But I would say this one is to be continued, because there's so much to talk about in this topic, regarding this topic.
Yeah,
So
I'm
uh,
glad to have been able to
thank
talk
you.
about this. This is the less controversial things I've talked about, which is good.
Okay.
I'm always on the controversial side, but
Thank
yeah,
you.
this is the nice part. I'm
Thank
nice
you.
today.
Oh, that's good.
Thank
So
you,
we
everyone.
need to talk about the more controversial ones. So I'm going to contact you after this live stream.
Oh my
give. We need to no, we need to help people now. We need to help people. I'm concerned about the families that are going through a lot of pains. And
Oh,
really,
Saramian has a question. Is narcissistic self-inflicted? Is not. They're not really conscious of it. Like I said, it mostly starts based on early childhood experiences. They don't inflict it on themselves. Some are not even aware they're narcissistic. Some later in life are diagnosed, or they kind of brought to their notice. But at that point, it's something that has developed. Some with the excessive use of social media, or like with the rave of Instagram, people just started like, oh, I actually met with, this student in one of the universities I taught at. Hope she won't watch this, but she was like, she always had this session of taking pictures, almost 100 pictures every other day. I was like, why do you need to do that? Yes, it's a mental disorder, but it's not self-inflicted. Sorry, man. You kind of self. It's like you telling, I did it to myself. They don't do it to themselves, right? They're not consciously aware that that is happening, but it's almost like you're developing, or it's a coping mechanism sometimes for some things, especially for the vulnerable narcissist. It's more of a coping strategy for their vulnerability, or their low self-esteem, or their the the way they feel they're incompetent about something, or it's like a cover, you know just like some people who are depressed, on when they're outside, they try to smile a lot just to cover what they're feeling inside, you know yeah, you have that because you don't want, you're at work or you're with family, you don't want everybody to know that you're depressed, so you're like you know
funny smile. Yeah.
yeah, questionably happy. Yeah, so yeah, it's a question of it's nurture, really.
Hmm. Hmm.
Nurture.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it says a question. Is it a question of nurture or nature?
definitely nurture.
Nurture.
Nurture. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So, Sarima, I hope you got it. Did you get that? So, if you are not clear about it, please ask question now. We have the doctor in the house still, and then in the next couple of minutes, we are going to be letting her go so she can do other activities that she have online today. Again, this is been awesome, awesome. We have been talking about the narcissistic relationship in perspective. So we're trying to look at the various areas of narcissism disorder. And again, this is not all there is. There's so much more, and there's so
Mhm.
much examples that we can give. Like she said, this is just the simple aspect of discussion. There is a more controversial aspect of it, and we are actually he's here now, and I already got some comment coming in that we need more questions, more topic like this. So she's gonna be coming back again. She's gonna be coming back again. That's a guarantee. I know she have a lot to share, and with our partnership right now is gonna blow up. So I'm gonna ensure she have a website. I'm gonna ensure she have a blog. So we're gonna ensure that she's blogging so that you guys can read more about what she's into and all of this information. All right, I think Antonia have a question before we go. You want to take that question?
What's the question? You can say it.
Um, okay, just a minute. It's coming up. Yeah, there it is.
Does it happen to an adult who never experienced a toxic childhood but experienced a toxic relationship in adulthood? I mean, um, usually one would want to investigate the childhood experience. It might not have been the only ones that develop the vulnerable type of narcissism would have experienced a toxic childhood, neglect, and things like that. For the grandiose, the childhood wasn't particularly well. I wouldn't say. not toxic in terms of being neglectful or abusive, but toxic in the sense that they are being they are they are nurtured to feel like they're better than everybody else. Always told by their parents, oh, oh, don't mind, you're better than them. Can't you see? We have this, that. And, even when he doesn't do well, oh, don't worry about that. You're still the best. Given a participation trophy here and there. Yeah. So in terms of those, why it has to stem from a background of early childhood experiences is that at that point the brain is still developing. you
Mm,
know it's still developing, and some of those things will manifest in adulthood,
mm,
or well, in teenage years, in adulthood. It might even get to the point of some other behavioral patterns, something with addiction, addictive like behavior, and substance abuse and stuff like that.
mm,
But once the brain develops in adulthood, it could actually be, let's say, based on um, some environmental thing, something you can develop. Yeah, so I think you can develop, especially when it comes to social. Now, thinking about it, when it comes to social media, you can actually kind of develop it to a certain extent, in that, oh, you always want to be out there. Oh, you have your pictures have to be, you have to take all the angles. You need people to like your picture. You start getting stressed when you're not getting enough likes, or it's been 3 months, I only have 500 followers. Why don't I have more people liking my picture? Why are you not sharing this picture? Why? And yeah, it's to a certain extent in adulthood, but for a lot of those things, even for those traits to occur in adulthood, it would have stemmed from something, some experiences during childhood. A normal, healthy brain person with a good self-esteem and all that will not be seeking so much attention,
mm,
will not be looking for so much self affirmation from
mm,
people or
mm.
admiration from people. So it always stems from something. And when you go to a psychotherapist, they will definitely ask you questions about your childhood, because many disorders stems from something that happened during childhood.
Mm.
You might not know it. Yeah, you might not know it, but yes, it's serious, Antonia. That is why a good environment for bringing up children is very, very important.
Mm,
It's very important. Some things we don't take seriously in our culture, and we are like, it's the parents, they know what's best, da 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 da,
mm,
and they don't take you correcting how they're treating their children lightly
mhm.
and stuff like that. But we need to be more conscious of that. It's serious.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Like
Mhm.
you got everything. I believe you got everything about this topic already. And if you do not understand it yet, I will encourage you after the stream, play the video over and over again. Okay? You have to play it again to be able to understand everything that doctor has actually analyzed today.
They're calling me doctor. I'm Rosemary. Please.
Oh,
Yes. Stop it.
okay. Okay.
That's
I'll
what you
try.
always called me
I'll
before
try.
now. I don't
I'll
know
try.
why you're now changing
I'll try. Okay. Okay. I'll try. I'll try.
it.
All right. Okay. All right. Rosemary, thank you.
Yes, better.
But you are a doctor. I just want to
I have
recognize.
enough of that at work.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for being part of this. If you have more questions, please leave it in the comment section below. I believe she's going to see the comments again and reply you
Yeah.
because she's already a member of the family. So she's here reading your questions. And after this, if you're those of you watching this video after we've been streamed, and you will be watching it again, also ask your questions. And I believe those questions, I will personally redirect them to her so that you'll be able to, answer the questions as well. If we need to come online to answer the question, we will do. But if she would like to reply you, she will reply you on the comment section as well. So I want to thank every one of you for being part of this stream today and listening to us. And then the fact that every one of you like this topic, so we will come up with something in like manner. So if you like to let us know some of the topic you want us to like talk about relating to this, let us know. Dr. Rosemary.
Yep.
I wanted to say doctor. So Rosemary is here, and then we have other educated people, individuals that we can bring to the platform. And I'm actually working on a program today. So far we're planning it. I'm gonna come up with, yes, I think she just the person I want to mention, she just posted now. I think she happened in here, and this is the woman. This is she's gonna come here to share with us. I'm gonna be bringing her in. We're already talking about it. I'm gonna bring her in to share about discipline with your children, how to discipline your children, and the way we are doing discipline these days. We need some corrections. So we're looking at that coming in. This is has been really insightful. Thankful, but thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Sister Janet, thank you for your comments. We acknowledge that so well. Fashionable Geeks, thank you. Okodebe, thank you. Antonia, amazing, thank you. You guys are great. And Sareme, thank you. I hope we're able to answer all of those questions correctly. If you have more questions, please, you can get in touch with us. If you want to get in touch with Sareme, please, Rosemary, if you want to get in touch with Rosemary, any of you, please let me know. She'll be able to give you a listening ears concerning any of these things you want to talk about. Thank you very much, everyone. I really appreciate we're about to come to a close on this section. And remember, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I encourage you to do. And I want to say, join me to say a big thank you to Rosemary Bassey, our doctor, who have been able to give us a lot of information today. She cleared her schedule out of our busy time. She was able to do this. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. So I can't wait to have you back again, because I'm already thinking of something that we're going to talk about again. So wait for my email. So guys, if you have anything you want to talk about or you have a question, our email is on the description of this video below. Send us an email. As soon as you send us an email, I'll be able to get in touch with you, and then we can talk about what you want us to talk about or answer your question. Thank you, guys. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit the subscribe button and like the video and share it. If you want to rewatch it, I encourage you to watch it again. So I'm going to let our Rosemary go, and so that you can go ahead. And do you have one or two things to say before we go? You want to say one or two things?
It's just been fun for me. Just coming in and sharing about this. Because I've seen it a lot, and a lot of people, I'm meeting them for the first time. I'm not a psychologist, but when you've done a lot on behavioral neuroscience and stuff and neuropsychopharmacology, some of these things are easy to recognize, and it's nice if other people are able to recognize them too. And people that need help get help. People you need to stay away from, you stay away from. But so far, it's just been fun for me, and I appreciate everyone that contributed, asked questions, and I'm here to be of help.
Awesome.
In whatever way I can.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear. She said it.
In whatever way I can. Highlight.
Yeah. You are able. Uh, you are able. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This is
You're
awesome.
welcome.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye. I appreciate you. Bye. Bye. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being part of this live stream. It has been awesome, wonderful. You guys are great. And we are now getting ready to round it up today. If you are just coming in, we'll be talking about the narcissistic relationship in perspective with Rosemary Bassey Ph.D. She just left the stream, and we've been talking about it all over 1 hour, 30 minutes. Now, if you have any question, anything regarding to this topic, please ensure you leave your question below. And also, you can rewatch this video to understand this particular topic, because we actually touch almost all the aspects of narcissistic relationship. So if you want to know more about it, listen to the video again and again. All right. And if you have any questions regarding this, if this video does not clarify it, I encourage you to send us an email. And also, you can, if you want to get in touch with our guests, I'll also give you the opportunity to get in touch with our guest, Rosemary Bassey. So thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate, and I want to say a big thank you for staying on, and for all of your honest contributions and insightful suggestions and insightful questions, powerful questions. Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate you, and thank you for supporting our channel. And those of you that have been watching us from a distance, I'm glad that you're coming very close now to watch closely and being part of what we're doing. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. I'm going to let you guys go now so you can do other things that you need to do today. And we're going to be back again online tomorrow. Don't hesitate to be online when you see our notification. All right. So I'll see you again, guys, tomorrow. Have a blissful night rest. Until tomorrow, don't quarrel, don't fight, love your spouse. Love your spouse. Do your best to honor and appreciate who you're living with, especially your spouse and your children. Is so important. Thank you, guys. Let me read your comments again. Janet said, so sad that I missed some part. Yes, you're going to watch the video. Watch the video. By the time we're done, just replay. Press replay. You watch everything. You get all the details. So next time we're going to come online and we're coming live with any guests, I believe you will receive a notification as well. So watch all the videos. The whole video is 31 1 hour plus. You just need to watch it. It's very entertaining, insightful, and you will not be bored. I guarantee you that. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here, and I really appreciate you. So I'm going to let you go now. This is Family Aspect. We love you, and we'll see you again in another video.